Today is a great, little, amazing, incredible day, and I'll tell you why. Because it's a Germany day. German Reunification explained. Happy Germany Reunification Day. Without further ado, let's get into this reaction. Let's go.
Reunification almost didn't happen. It was opposed by nearly all world leaders.
Wow.
But there was one man who made it happen.
It was opposed by nearly all world leaders. That's weird and interesting. Why would all world leaders want Germany to remain separate?
One who convinced everybody. One man who vowed that Germany will be united. After the Second World War, Germany was split into several regions. What is often overlooked is that Germany was not separated into 4 regions, but 7. The 4 you probably heard about are these 4 occupation zones. This part was under British control, this part under Soviet control, this part under US control, and this part under French control.
Is that why they say, I'm pretty sure you guys said this part of Germany that they drink tea and like, I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure you will in the comment section, but is there somewhere around here where they're known for drinking more tea than the Brits? Is it because there are, you know, the connection between being an occupied British territory? Which cities are in this part of Germany currently? Is that, I'm really bad at geography. It's not Hamburg, is it? That's around here somewhere. Let me know in the comment section. In fact, let's just Google Maps it. You guys don't need to let me know. I can find out. Let me go into Google Maps. Bear with me a second. Right, I've got Germany right here. Okay, Germany. Ah, no, I was right. Pat on the back, pat on the back. I'm not that bad at geography. Hamburg is up here somewhere, right? Somewhere there or somewhere here. Somewhere around here. No, I'm not. Is it right? Yeah. Okay. So by the Netherlands, Dusseldorf, Cologne, Hanover, Frankfurt, basically. Those were all under like British occupancy, I think.
Berlin was similarly divided amongst these 4 powers. But there are 3 more regions. The first is this small area which became the Saar Protectorate, whose people decided to rejoin West Germany in the 1950s.
Okay.
Then there is this part, which today we call Kaliningrad Oblast. It became part of the Soviet Union and wasn't just a country occupied by foreign powers like the rest of Germany. This land was now Russian, these people were now Russians, and their...
Wait a minute, before I continue. Is that why they didn't want the country to become one? Because if you think about it, if this was part of Britain, this was part of America, or just occupied by these countries, they clearly had control over a certain part of the society, the resources. Germany was probably pretty valuable to these countries, so maybe they just wanted to hold on to it.
Official language was now Russian. And lastly, this vast area was given to Poland, meaning these Germans were now living in Poland. Over time, the British, French and US zones would become West Germany, and the Soviet zone would become East Germany.
Right.
Because the capitalist West and communist East were on opposite sides of a Cold War, the 2 stayed separate countries. There wasn't really any hope that Germany will be united. Over time, a wall was built between the 2 Germanys to make sure that people from the poorer East could not emigrate to the richer West. In the 1980s, the economic and social differences between the West and the East were becoming apparent. Soon, peaceful protests broke out throughout the communist East, including West Germany. Then, on the evening of November 9th, 1989, the East German press secretary made a mistake that would change history.
I just realized that I was alive during the, because I was born in that year. 1989 is the year I was born. Showing my age. So yeah, the year that the wall fell.
Haben wir uns dazu entschlossen, heute eine Regelung zu treffen, die es jedem Bürger der DDR möglich macht, über Grenzübergangspunkte der DDR auszureisen.
But he was wrong. In actuality, people could now apply to travel abroad in a few months, not right away. But the words were said, the people had heard, and thousands flocked to the border crossings.
Wow.
Because the press secretary misspoke, people thought that the gate was open immediately. The bewildered border guards didn't know what to do with the tens of thousands wanting to get through. And so, without being given orders to do so, the border guards opened the gates and let the East German masses through.
Ah. Look how excited she looks. So excited to cross the border.
And so the Berlin Wall fell, the division was over, and the people were liberated. To the world this signified the end of the Cold War.
Goosebumps.
To Germany, a call.
Wow. I would have loved to have been there. Can you imagine the energy? Well, I'm saying could you imagine, but I'm pretty sure a lot of my subscribers are of all ages. And I'm pretty sure we'll have subscribers who are in their 50s, 60s, even maybe possibly 70s and remember this, or maybe you were there. But I can even feel the electricity through the screen. I know for a fact that would have felt like so emotional and overwhelming, having your country unified like that. Incredible. Wow.
For reunification.
By the way, what do you guys do today then? It's October 11th. I think I'm going to be posting this October 11th is obviously your reunification day. What do you guys do on this day? Do you celebrate? Do you have a party? Are there events on in Germany? Let me know. It's incredible. 33 years, right? 33 years. So then the wall didn't fall in 1989. Is it 33 years? I heard it was 33 years and I'm 35. So, okay, Google, when did the Berlin Wall fall?
November 9th, 1989.
Oh, it's 1989, so it's 35 years. Oh, it's a big one then. Yeah, it is the year. It is the same year I was born. So it's a big year. It's 35 years of reunification of Germany. You should be very proud that you were able to unite your country, and very proud that Germany, to have the past that you had, to go through what you did as a country, and to now be a country that is respected. Do you understand? Respected all around the world. And people look to Germany for a lot of things, and look to Germany with a fond eye, a fond and keen, happy thought. Like, no one's looking at Germany and like, oh, that's a terrible country. No, like, you're the powerhouse of Europe. You are the number one country in Europe. You are the leader of Europe. So you should be very proud at all the achievements that you've managed to have between this reunification and now. Like, wow. Anyways, let's back to the video.
Germany will be united. Upon hearing this news, the West German parliament began singing the German national anthem. But one person was notably missing. One person who would change Germany forever. One person who would see to it that Germany will be united. Chancellor Helmut Kohl, the leader of West Germany. Helmut Kohl was in Poland at the time, celebrating the first freely elected Polish government since World War II. Kohl was surprisingly quiet when he heard the news that the wall was open. He asked himself, what should I do now? This was a historic moment. If Germany was ever to become one country, it would need to be right now. So he rushed back to Germany and began writing a plan for German reunification. This plan was made in absolute secrecy. Nobody, not even his own government, knew what was going on except Kohl and those closest to him. In fact, he had only sent the speech to other world leaders an hour before he made it. And he only sent it in German, so they wouldn't be able to read this speech and stop him before he made it.
Wow.
And so on November 28th, a mere 2.5 weeks after the wall fell, Kohl made his announcement.
Der Weg zur deutschen Einheit, das wissen wir alle, ist nicht vom grünen Tisch zu planen oder ist auch nicht zu planen mit einem Terminkalender in der Hand. Und abstrakte Modelle kann man vielleicht polemisch verwenden, aber sie helfen nicht weiter. Aber wir können, wenn wir nur wollen, uns schon heute auf jene Etappen vorbereiten, die zu diesem Ziel hinführen.
Germany will be united.
Wow.
This speech was very popular in West Germany, but caused major anxieties in the rest of the world leaders. You see, the British, French, United States and Soviet Union still had troops on German soil, and they had so-called reserved rights, meaning these four countries had to allow German reunification, and all four powers were basically having none of it. A unified Germany is a powerful Germany, and a powerful Germany had been their enemy in 2 world wars. But Helmut Kohl was not deterred.
So it was an anxiousness that those countries were scared of giving Germany back to the German people because of what happened beforehand. I get it. Okay.
Germany will be united. So first up, Helmut Kohl had to convince East Germany to even want to join the West. Well, this was an easy task. Reunification was seen as an escape from poverty, and during the East German elections, the first and only free elections in East Germany, Kohl campaigned for pro-reunification parties. And they won. So that's one down. Now it's time to convince the rest of the world. Because Germany will be united. Next up was France, led by François Mitterrand. Germany was founded on the defeat of France, and historically the two had been rivals for control of Europe. A unified Germany would be economically, industrially and politically superior to France. But Mitterrand was crafting his own plan.
And it still is. It definitely is now.
Germany really wanted reunification. He realized that by having this new powerful Germany at their side, with the rest of Europe at their back, it would have a big role to play in world affairs. So Mitterrand demanded a bigger role for the European Union, a single European army, a single European foreign policy, and a single European currency.
Wow,
and we can see
so that's where it started. That's where the European Union was forged. Maybe it was out of kind of a worry that something like, the Second World War would happen again and, Germany, you guys would turn, or another European country would turn on another European country. That unification of Germany also was provisional on the fact, kind of a provision was put in place to reunify the entirety of Europe so that it would prevent another war between European countries. I get it now. That makes sense. Because I think the way it was a worry that, I don't know, you guys would have turned bad or something. And I don't know. I think everyone was just anxious after the Second World War. So the reunification of Germany kind of triggered the unification of Europe. Get it.
See the results of this today. Germany and France are the main deciding powers in the EU. The euro gave France a strong currency, and with the UK leaving the EU, the European army is finally becoming a realization. But this was exactly what the British did not want.
Wait a minute. So wait, the UK leaving EU has now made it possible for there to be an EU army. Did the UK stop the EU from creating a centralized army? Interesting. Do not like this woman, but okay, what's she saying?
The British Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher, lived through the Nazi air raids, and she herself saved money for a Jewish girl to stay with her family for sanctuary. She feared Germany would dominate Europe and the UK over time.
If we did not retain our national identities in Europe, the dominant people in Europe would be German.
But by this time, the United Kingdom was no longer the superpower it was before the Second World War.
No.
And by Thatcher's own admission, the UK had become the least important of the four powers and would eventually bow down to the will of the other three. Well, at least...
I don't think that's that true. No, I think UK was still very significant within the EU. We still were very significant in the EU. Absolutely. But yeah, I think from the Thatcher era, the UK's never really wanted to be part of the EU and have always wanted to have their sovereignty, but it's backfiring, guys. I don't know if you guys know what's going on in the UK. It's quite sad because I can see the country I grew up in. I can see that it is declining rapidly. All the talented British people are leaving Britain. All the young, talented British people are leaving the UK. They're going elsewhere. They don't want to be there. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And since we've left the EU, it's just the country's just declining rapidly. I don't know where it's going to go. Anyways, that's another subject.
France was now persuaded. If Helmut Kohl could get the other three powers to agree, maybe that was enough, and he wouldn't need Britain's approval. It was time for Kohl to move on to the next power, the United States of America, led by President George Bush. Unlike the other three powers, the USA didn't really fear a powerful Germany. After all, Europe was an ocean away and wouldn't be able to cause too much trouble for America. This would, in fact, take a piece of territory away from the USSR and would put distance between their European allies and Soviet troops. And it would put NATO troops slightly closer to the Russian heartland. So, yay, that's two powers convinced. It really started to look like Germany will be united. But now came the Soviet Union, led by Secretary General Mikhail Gorbachev. His would be a tough one. East Germany was seen as part of the Soviet Empire. Gorbachev would not simply hand over a client state to their rivals. Not only did the Soviets fear a powerful Germany, it also feared British, French and US troops moving into East Germany, coming ever closer to Moscow. It is at this point that we have to look at the rest of Europe, particularly Eastern Europe, because while Eastern Germany was protesting, the rest of the USSR's client states were in similar stages of revolution. Within 2 years, the Soviet Union itself would collapse. Gorbachev was acutely aware of the state of his country and needed money to push through economic reforms he hoped would modernize the Soviet Union and, hopefully, keep his country together. East Germany was broke, and it was kept afloat by continuous money supplies from the USSR. So what if he could sell it to West Germany? He would lose this large expense, gain some much needed income, and could gain this new powerful Germany as an important ally.
So he sold Germany back to Germany. Did you guys purchase your own country from him?
In European politics. But there were some conditions. First, no NATO bases in East Germany, and the Russian withdrawal was not allowed to be
I think, does someone want to go back in the past and tell him that didn't work? Because NATO is everywhere. NATO's in old USSR countries now. Like NATO is, then this is why we've got this issue now with Russia because NATO is expanding. Oh God.
Presented as a retreat. NATO agreed, and so West Germany sent a delegation to Moscow to discuss Germany giving loans to the Soviet Union in exchange for German reunification. He did it. 3 of the 4 powers had agreed. The UK would soon join the other 3, and Germany will be united.
So we were the last ones to say yes. I guess I understand because of the history. The UK, man. I don't know. When I look at this, I just think I don't want to talk about the EU and the European Union, but I just think I don't know what we're doing at the moment. To be honest, I don't know what our end goal is. I think the UK has been mourning the empire ever since they lost the empire. Like I think the UK still thinks that they're this superpower that owned like half the globe. The UK hasn't been that for a very, very long time. A very, very long time. And I don't think the UK understands that. Anyways, let's continue.
But now came one very important question. What territory does German reunification include? You see, large portions of land had been given to Poland and the Soviet Union after World War II. Helmut Kohl wanted all these lands returned. They were Germans, West Germany had never given up its claim to these territories, and they should be returned to Germany as well. Now, it is one thing to ask for two countries to become one. It is a whole other matter to demand Soviet and Polish territory just to be handed over after 45 years.
Yeah.
And the four powers basically told Helmut Kohl, it's either East Germany or nothing. In the end, Kohl relented. He agreed that the newly formed Germany would relinquish all claims to Polish and Soviet territory in exchange for German reunification.
Wow.
And so it was done. The Soviet Union pulled its forces back from East Germany in 1990. The four powers ended their occupation of the two Germanys, and a single unified Germany had been born. It was time to party, because Germany had been united. If you liked this video,
What are the other parts of Poland that were German and the parts of Russia that was German? I need to have a look and see how those people feel. How do they feel about, because they were Germans. They were Germans only, what, how many years ago? 70, 80 years ago they were German. How do they feel? Love to have a look at that. Guys, well, I guess the ones in Poland wouldn't feel, it's not too bad because, Poland's part of the EU and it's, it's not too bad. I wonder if they speak German as well. Is it probably Western Poland, they probably speak a bit of German. I wonder how they feel about that. Anyways, guys, have a really great day, whatever you're doing today on your unification day. Let me know. Are you having a party? Do you celebrate? Do you fly the German flag? I don't really know much about it, but I know today is a very special day and you should be very proud that you have your country back and you're united. And you're one of the top countries you are the top country in the EU and respected all around the world. And you've definitely atoned for any checkered past that you may have had during the World War. You are now seen as actually a country that is very fair and has a lot of equality, and actually a lot of people want to move to, and I can't wait to visit. So yeah, guys, be proud of your country. Until the next one, I will speak to you very soon.